Hi friends! So today I'm going to do one of my favorite kinds of projects, a scrap buster one. I'm taking some leftover mermaid themed papers and going to transform them into the cutest little 6x6 card folio. This project is fun and practical, and it's a great way for me to use all these little pretty scraps. Let's get started. Okay, so to get started, I already cut two pieces of ribbon that measure approximately 12 inches long. That's going to be my closure that I'm going to use later on. And then, of course, before I go too much further, I did want to mention that I already have a full step-by-step tutorial showing exactly how to create this base of the folio. So if you'd like more of detailed instructions on that, I'll be sure to link that video in the description box. But for today's video, I'm just going to be giving you a brief overview of the process while focusing on some of the other decorating parts of it. So for the base of this folio, I chose this really pretty cardstock. It's a one sheet of 12 by 12. I think it's a really pretty teal color and it's a little darker, and I think that's important because it's going to make the paper really shine and stand out. So I already cut my 12 by 12 cardstock into two pieces that measured 6 by 12 each. I had already added my score lines, and so I went ahead and folded along those score lines. Of course, one of the piece was scored at 6 inches and 6 1/4, and on the other piece it was scored at 6 inches and 6 1/8. Once those folds are nice and crisp, I will join the two pieces together. That creates the folio base. And then as soon as the base is together, lined up nicely, I want to go ahead and add my ribbon. That way, when I can go ahead and add all of my decorations, I am ready to go. Okay, so that looks great. Now I need to get my paper ready. I know I want to use 6 sheets of pattern paper. And while I love each of these designs, I think they're going to really stand out more if I mat them first. And so I'm going to grab some white cardstock and create mats for all 6 of these pieces. I want a nice even border all the way around. So I'm going to cut the mats a 1/4 inch smaller than the panels, which means each mat is going to measure 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I think that little white pop of white is really going to help frame these really cute mermaid papers and make the colors stand out even more. Now that I've cut all of my white mats, I'm going to go ahead and adhere all of those to the folio base. Once those are in place, I'm ready to trim down my pattern papers. Since I want another small border around each piece, I'm going to cut all of my pattern pieces down by an additional 1/4 inch. That means each of these panels are going to measure 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. As I'm working through this step, I do want to pay special attention to where each of these papers will go throughout the folio. I definitely want this adorable little mermaid to be featured on the cover. And then also I have a few pages with the group of little mermaids, and I don't want them to be hidden behind any pockets or tags. So I'm going to take just a couple of minutes to lay everything out and make sure I'm happy with the placement before I start gluing everything down. And I always think this extra planning step is worth it because it really helps the finished folio feel intentional and lets all those little special papers shine and people can see how cute they are. So I did decide to add a couple little extra details to the folio to give it a little bit more dimension and help everything stand out. First, I decided I did want to ink all the edges of my pattern papers, and I used a soft kind of a toffee colored ink. I think it's a subtle touch, but I think it really helps define each layer and gives the project a more finished look. And that's really all there is to it. Once I have all my papers down and those final details in place, the last thing I need to do is add some 4 by 4 photo places and um, tie it up, and then that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's project and found a little inspiration for using up some of those really cute paper scraps that you might have laying around. If you have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them down in the comment section. And always, I love hearing from you. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing so you don't miss any more future videos. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.